All right, so next up, we're gonna talk about this clip that went viral. So we got something making the rounds on TikTok where we have this female who took it upon herself to get on her TikTok because she called herself exposing her baby's father for being a bad person and a bad parent because he did not bring food for her other children who are siblings of his child, but none of them are his actual child. So she's like feeling like some type of way because she thinks that he should bring food for all of these kids, even though these kids are not his. He's just responsible for the one son. And so she got on the TikTok. I guess there is a market for this. I guess there's people who are waving the pom pom saying, "Good for you, girl. Good for you for exposing these guys." I guess. I don't know. There must be, because she felt emboldened enough to put this on social media. But yeah, she's calling this guy out because she feels like he should bring McDonald's for kids who aren't even his and not just his own child. So we'll play the first two parts and then talk about it.
And then my baby daddy come here with one meal for my child, but I have three other kids. We have one kid together, and he only want to come and bring one thing to McDonald's. But what about my other kids? How come you can't feed my other kids McDonald's though? Like that's bogus as hell. Like you're not gonna sit here and make my other kids feel left out, and you're only bringing one child something to eat. Look, there you go. And I bet you he only got one thing in there. I bet you he only even. I'm finna expose him. So people see how he really is. It ain't more than enough food in that bag for everybody. What's up? Because I'm finna expose you. What? Because that don't look enough for all my kids. That don't look enough for all my kids. What is that? That's just one burger, one fry. Okay, what about my other kid? And then my baby daddy come here.
Hold on.
With one.
That's clip one. Now let's get the clip two. Hang tight. Yeah. You know, this thing only let you do one at a time. And I ain't sure.
It's all good, man. I think two is enough.
Oh my goodness. I agree, sir.
Yeah. So this is part two. It's a continuation of that.
You know I'm getting my food stamps to the Senate. But if you're trying to help out though, you're not helping out. But how are you helping yourself when you're only getting kids for food to just telling us other kids, his siblings? Them are his siblings though. He's not going to eat it from all his other siblings and they're not eating on McDonald's. No. Why do I gotta put? No. He's not going to eat that at all. You can't bring it up for everybody. Yes. How is that dumb? You sound dumb.
Nobody told you. You let them other kids. They were your responsibility. They're not my responsibility.
Okay, but if you're going to bring one, you need to bring it for all. How does that look that I'm late? What about eating McDonald's and all the rest of the kids can't eat no fucking McDonald's? You know I get food stamps on the left. Yeah, you know I get my food stamps.
All right, we're good now.
All right, so whenever I see this kind of stuff, it's so outlandish that I often ask myself whether this was something that was done for, clicks and likes and comments, whether it was fabricated or staged in any kind of way. Like, I find this to be so outrageous that I question its validity. I question whether it's real or not. So I'm going to let's, for the sake of argument, let's assume it's real. It very well could be fake. I don't know what's real and what's fake in this world anymore. I honestly don't. So let's just, for the sake of argument, say that this is real. And I am going to disregard the element of this that I think is probably most damaging, which is the racial social component. So I'm going to put that in a Ziploc bag and I'm going to shove that to the side. and I'm just going to talk about this at face value, and I am going to say that this is, pretty disgusting. My opinion of this is pretty simple. It's pretty basic. It should come as no surprise to anyone that you, as a single mother, don't have the right to hold another man responsible for providing for children who aren't his. I don't think that is an unreasonable thing to say. Mm-hmm. So those children are your responsibility and the responsibility of their respective fathers, not this guy who is not responsible and did not father those children. So if those kids need to eat, and if those kids want McDonald's, those kids' pops need to get them some McDonald's. Now, it begs the question, where are those kids' fathers at? Where are they? It stands to reason that there is something going on in terms of the relationships between her and those particular individuals, that she isn't necessarily looking to expose them, but she's looking to expose this guy. What they got going on, that she wants to expose him for not being someone who is considerate enough, I guess, to buy food for children who he didn't father and therefore shouldn't actually be held responsible for providing for. It's pretty basic. There's definitely more layers to go with this. Obviously, there's, this is a rabbit hole that you can traverse down far deeper than just this surface level, because you can get into a whole lot of other things, racial things, social things, societal things, education, all that kind of stuff. It was interesting when he addressed, where are those other kids' dads and why aren't they taking care of them? Because that's her and his responsibility. She had no response to that. She just said, "Oh, this is what you should do," which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But I don't know. This is a mad, mad world. That's what I say. This is crazy out here. And for her to put this on the internet so that she can embarrass herself in the way that she did is incomprehensible to me. And I'll just leave it at that.
And I say that, at least for me, the first time me watching this, I was outraged.
For real.
I was outraged at the psychosis of it all. And then, like you say, whether real or fake, there were co-signers in the comment section, basically saying, y'all don't understand. Like, there's going to be now, like, politics involved with the kids now, because one father is bringing food for one and the other ones are not eating. And so now they have a problem with that dynamic, and they don't want that dynamic in their house. So now they're trying to force the guys to bring stuff for all of them. And of course, there's a multitude of problems with all of this.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. This is just so deprived. Like this is or depraved. Like this is like, honestly, I know this happens. And honestly, for me to watch it, play out the way it does, it reminds me of old toxic situations. And so just hearing the fact that you say something that makes sense, and then immediately something just irrational comes out that has nothing to do with it, and gaslighting and all that stuff. And man, honestly, this serves as a cautionary tale for anybody. And they give you warning signs, man. And you got to run for the hills. And especially at this moment with the Roe v. versus Wade dynamics.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
You can't be around here playing around like that.
Yeah, for real.
So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, but it's good though. She crazy, but it's good though. Yeah, I'll pull out. Hey, man, now you're really rolling the dice now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you'd be forced to deal with this scenario. You know, this guy was just, hey man, doing his thing. Little did he know that she's running a sweatshop where she's just trying to get pregnant from guys so she doesn't have to work. And then so, oh yeah, I'll come through. Yeah, I know she got kids, but it ain't gonna be me, you know. And then pop up with it, and she's not gonna get rid of it. Of course, why? She did this on purpose.
Yeah.
That's why she has this many fathers, baby fathers, because this is an economic game for her. The more children she has, the less she has to work.
Right.
So this is ridiculous, but this is a result of it. And so, yeah, man, this is just sad. So it doesn't have to be a scenario where, you know, she's got kids already. Well, that's why I don't deal with women that got kids anyway. All right, bro, good for you. The lesson here is dealing with a narcissistic, crazy woman. And if she's talking crazy when you're giving rational thoughts, run for the hills.
Right.
And that's the lesson here. Because, hey, man, I had to learn. And, you know, you think you can work with people and change people. You can't do that. And if they show you that they're a narc on the front end, take that sign and run with it and don't deal with it. They're that old and that single for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so if they're a younger person, hey, man, they still have the traits. They still give you that same, you know, I'm a victim all the time. You never care about me crazy mentality. Because once those women get pregnant, that's when you get these crazy baby mama stories. So, yeah, man, this was a lesson learned for me. Just sitting here and watching this and it's just like, yo, man, like, you'd better be careful who you plug up out here, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a wild scenario. And most comments that I saw, especially the ones up top, they were basically like, come on, is she serious? You know, that's not his responsibility. You know, the common sense shit, you know. But once I panned further down, I saw the people cheering for her and basically, or at least justifying where she was coming from. But honestly, there is no justification for this.
There really isn't. And I'm willing to bet you the people who are justifying it were justifying it because their life circumstances probably the same as hers.
Exactly.
So that's why they, you know, we have a real serious problem in our culture with accountability or lack thereof. We have a real serious problem with that. I believe that we have this disease going on. I call it the rationalization for undesired results. That's what I call it. So I prefaced this before when we talked about Tandy Newton a while back, because, you know, she talked about how she felt bad because she felt as though she was taking men away from dark-skinned women, and the whole colorism thing came up. And I was like, this is the dumbest shit ever, because you're allowing yourself to be bullied by women who are rationalizing their undesired results through the use of a weapon like colorism. So, you know, if you lack a certain amount of decorum, education, a body type, you know, hygiene, if you have too many illegitimate children, you might not be desired by very many men. And if you get turned down by those men, it's not because you're dark skinned. It's because you have too many of those types of things going on. That was my point. But you have a large segment of women who will rationalize their undesired results, the undesired result being rejection from men, by saying, oh, it must be because I'm black, or it must be because I'm dark skinned. No, it's because you have too much baggage. Okay? That's why. Is there a certain segment of men who do engage actively in what you might characterize as colorism? Yeah. But is that what's going on in mass? No. Is that the majority of cases? No. If you have everything that is gainful that men seek, you're probably not going to be somebody complaining about colorism. So you have there's just a lot of us out here who just don't believe in accountability and want to rationalize our undesired results through the use of these various, weapons, through the use of these various literary devices and these tools and these words and these labels like fat shaming and colorism and all of this other kind of stuff. This is another example of that. Like this guy said, where are those kids' fathers? They're responsible for feeding their children Where are they? That's your job and the responsibility of their fathers to figure out. And she didn't even address his point. She just said, no, this is what you should do. And it's like, look, lady, this is not the world as it was designed by you. Like, you know, we're not living in a utopian society where you get to just have a bunch of kids by a bunch of different dudes, and those different dudes are going to take care of kids that aren't theirs. Like, you're rationalizing your undesired result, which is the life that you created for yourself, by irresponsibly engaging in these acts with these guys and having all of these kids, by saying that this dude should be doing that because you just think that he should, even though none of it makes any logical sense whatsoever. And so, you know, it's just, it comes from a place of ignorance, and it's a real problem, particularly in our community where we are very quick to rationalize our undesired results by making excuses for ourselves. And, you know, it is what it is, man. But I was appalled. You know, provided that this is real, I was appalled. And, you know, there's plenty more like her where that came from. And I agree wholeheartedly. It's a cautionary tale. You dudes, myself included, all of us, you need to watch where you let off. Because you can very well end up in this type of situation. And for the most part, your life is effectively over. You know, that's a strong way of putting it, but that's just how I see it. Because you're tethered to this for life. So your life is just over. It's done. Forget all of that for the next 18 years, because the emotional scar that it will leave on you well past the point where you are financially obligated to be a part of that situation is going to linger for the rest of your life. And so you best steer clear. Yeah, recognize the signs of dysfunction, run for the hills, stay far away. And that's all I got to say.
Hey, agreed, bro. Agreed.
Oh, man. Next up, we're going to talk about Sha'Carri.